Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. We're back on part 2 of the buckwheat batard. Alright, now I'm going to show you that I got it up and rising. It should have a pungent, it's going to turn darker gray blue, which it does look like, and when you mix it, and it gives off a pungent musty aroma is what you're going to get. Alright, now they want us, okay, hold on, I'm going to have to get another bowl. Okay, you're going to need a large bowl, they say. They want us to add 1 1/3 cups of tepid water, which is 70 to 78 degrees. So it's going to feel cool to your touch. Okay. I'm going to read this again to make sure I do this right. Alright, now they want you to add, believe it or not, they want you to add one half a cup of buckwheat flour into the water. I told you they do it different than we do it here. Alright. And they want us to add 2 3/4 cups of unbleached flour. Now, but they want a high gluten. So you're going to have to use bread flour, because bread flour is a very high gluten, and that's what you need. The gluten's going to give it that elasticity and the chewiness that you like in the bread. I told you we're going to be talking about it. Okay. Where's that 1/4 so I can fill this up? And 3/4. Okay, look at that one I can use. Where did I put the lid for this? Okay, Sandra, you're going blind? We'll get to the culture in a bit. I need some room here to work with you. Now, they want you with a rubber spatula. They want us to just mix this until the water absorbs, all the water is absorbed, and you have a dry, crumbly dough. Okay, that's exactly what they want, and you're saying, what? This is what they want. Then I'll explain why we're trying to do this. Now, I'm going to put a plate over this, though. They say you're supposed to, you can use saran wrap. I'm going to use a plate. It's easier for me. Now, the reason we're going to do this is we're going to do this for 20 minutes. We're going to let it sit. And what it's going to do is it's going to hydrate the flour and give the gluten a chance to develop on its own. So we're going to have to rest this 20 minutes before we finish adding the rest of the stuff that we have to add. Okay, so I'll see you in 20 minutes. Okay. Now they want you to invigorate this with a rubber spatula. You can smell it as you work it. It does have a very pungent smell. Okay, now they want, this part you're not going to like, I didn't like it either. They want 2/3 of a cup of this only. That's right, only 2/3 of a cup. Let's see how much I have here. Just a little bit more, and I have 2/3. All right. Now, what are you going to do with the rest of this? Discard the rest. I want you to throw it out. Though I'm sure if it was a bakery, they would use this for one batch and take another part and add for another and another, but we're not doing that. We're only making one batch.
I've got enough cultures in the refrigerator.
No. It would be tempting to make buckwheat pancakes with this. I'm not going to touch this. I'm going to do something. I can make buckwheat pancakes today with bacon, and I'm going to use that, I think. At least I'm going to try. Now, it might not work, but I'm going to try, so I don't have to throw it out. All right, now they want you to stir the buckwheat leaven, which this is. We did that. We're going to scrape it into the bowl. Okay. Don't worry, I'll take my glasses off in a bit. So if I can avoid throwing, the discard out, that just makes sense. Now, with that added there, they want you to add 1 1/3 teaspoons. Okay, now that's 1 teaspoon, and 1/3 would be a little less than 1/2, or just a little more than 1/4. You make that decision up whichever way you want to go. And that should just about do it.
Now, they want us to use the spatula to blend the leaven and the salt into the dough, just long enough to combine. I'd rather use my hand, but they do not want it that way. Now, you're gonna need a scraper. I'm not kidding. You're gonna need some oil. Believe you me, I've been through it already. Twice and failed. I need room in here. Let's see, gotta get it all mixed. Okay, now I'm gonna read to you to listen to what I'm gonna be doing so you have a better idea, then I'll show you. They want you to dust the countertop with flour and you're gonna scrape the dough out. Scrape it, no, not dump it out. And you're gonna lightly oil your hands with a vegetable oil. Probably saying, why? You'll know in a bit. Knead the dough with long, smooth strokes for 10 to 12 minutes. Resist the temptation to add more flour. The stickier the dough is now, the airier and crisper your batards will be after baking. Every so often, use a bench scraper to collect the dough. And you'll have to oil your hands again. If you have to take a break, please do. Then we're going to do a window pane test. Let me get past this point first. Then we'll come to the point where you'll be using that scraper a lot. Now you're not adding any more flour than what you've seen, and you can see that here's what I just put here. Okay. Gonna scrape this out. You notice how they're not having us handle this too much right now. And it's very sticky. Get some hot water in your bowl, you're going to need it. Alright, now you can get some oil on your hand. This is going to be very, very tacky. I am not going to lie to you. I have already done this. Now long strokes, they want it spread out. In other words, when you do it, it's going to be long. What you're doing is stretching the chains of the starch so you can get that elasticity that you want. So you're going to stretch it out. See, I can hold it here and stretch it long like that. That's exactly what they want you to do, long stretches. Don't worry, it's going to get very tacky. And you're going to need the scraper just to get it back together so you can do this. You're going to be doing this for a good 12 minutes. turn you down more. So you're going to see how sticky this stuff gets. So the counter where it really gets sticky. That's why they say scrape it. I'm almost getting the whole length that I have here when you stretch it out. You see? I told you, you were going to need this stuff. I wasn't lying to you. Of course, they have big marbles that stay cool, and they do, but they probably don't have the stickiness that we have on our counters. So I'm going to continue doing this. I see a clean finger, clean knuckle, and I'll be back. Okay, now we're going to do a window pane test. You can see it's smooth, though it's still sticky. Look at the elasticity that it has. What you're going to do, if I can do it, is we're going to stretch this and see if it tears or does it just stretch. Look at that. It's stretching. So I got it to the point. That's called window pane. If it tears, you do it for another 2 minutes and do the test again. You take like a golf size dough and you stretch it. If it tears, it's not ready. You have to knead it a couple more minutes, and you run the test until you get it to that point. What you're doing is giving the elasticity to the starch. You're stretching that starch out, and you're stretching it, and you're stretching it, and what it does, when you go to make this bread, it'll have those air pockets without collapsing or anything. See, in America, they don't make bread like that, but in France, they do, and they want that. So they have to sit there and go through these stages. So let me go ahead and rinse my hands, and we'll read what we have to do next. So it's very important that you get that those long stretches, and you pull it and pull it. What it does is it just makes them elastic. You're pulling these chains out of the starch thinner and thinner so they'll hold instead of collapsing. Whereas in America, once it rises, you punch it down, let it rise again, but you keep punching it down and you don't let those air bubbles develop the way they're supposed to. So there is a difference in it. Okay. I know I messed up somewhere the other 2 times, but I have to figure out where. See, they say give the dough a window pane test to judge its readiness. Pinch off and gently stretch until the dough is thin enough to see through. If it tears, press the small pieces back in and do it for another 2 minutes and run the window pane test. That's what they call it. Now they want you to transfer the dough to a lightly oiled clear 2-quart container with a lid. With masking tape, mark the spot in the container that the dough will reach when it has doubled in volume. We're going to cover and leave it to rise at room temperature until it doubles, which I already know, so I don't have to know that part. Okay? So let me clean my bowl. I'm going to use the same bowl. Now this is not going to take an hour. This is going to take a little longer to rise, so don't panic out. It will rise. If you've done all these steps, it will rise. Because when you work with sourdough cultures, you have to give them that time. So oil a bowl. If you don't know when you hit double, definitely mark it so you know where. See, you can't even get off the counter. Okay. And you cover it. You want a lid? Okay, now we're gonna let this go. I don't know how long this is gonna take. It might take hours. We'll just have to wait and see, and I'll see you then.